Rhubarb mead to be made today. Fantastic. I love rhubarb. I love mead. So come on, let's make some rhubarb mead. Kitchen, this way, come. Rhubarb mead, I love it. I've not made a video of it before, but I've made a few test demi-johns over the course of last summer and this summer. Rhubarb, amazing plant. It grows up here in Orkney really well. It's like a weed, it just takes over and grows, and what could be better than rhubarb growing everywhere? Anyway, rhubarb mead. Lovely, easy, tasty, simple to make. So let's get on with it. Tasty. So what I'm using for this recipe is 2 kilos of chopped rhubarb, which I harvested a few days ago, and I've put in the freezer. Frozen rhubarb always makes better wines, better crumbles, better meads than your fresh. The freezing process really breaks down the cell structure to release more sugar and also more juice, more flavour into your wines, or your crumbles, or your pies, tarts, jams, whatever. So I always freeze my rhubarb for at least a day. So I have 2 kilos all ready to go, and I'm also using 1.5 kilos of clear runny honey. The rhubarb really complements the honey really well. It's probably one of my favourite meads to make. That's why I make so much of it, and it makes great presents, great gifts. It's fantastic. The only downside of rhubarb mead and meads in general is that they take a fair while to mature out. It's not a quick wine. You can't be making this in summer and expect to drink it in autumn. It will take ages to ferment out and then quite a while to mature. Probably about a full year, so it's one to lay down, forget about, and then next summer you'll be really thankful you made it and you left it for so long. Right then, let's get on with it. First thing we need is a big saucepan. Saucepan, big, and pour in your chopped rhubarb. And then simply pour over 2.5 litres of boiling water, because you want to stew your rhubarb in a gentle simmer for about half an hour or so. So boiling water, shove it on, fantastic. Then turn on your stove and let it simmer at a near boil for about 20 minutes, half an hour, until all of the rhubarb tasty, fruity sugar wonderfulness has leached into the water. Extract as much as you can. The more flavour you get out from your rhubarb, the better. Fantastic. So now it's time, I think, for a rhubarb beer. Awesome stuff. It'll take a while for your rhubarb to come to a simmer because it's all frozen, so it's really cold. So why not go and enjoy a lovely rhubarb beer. Have I made a recipe video for rhubarb beer? Don't think I have yet, have I? If I haven't, I'll make one. If I have, the link is up by here. So go, enjoy it. See you soon. Well, the rhubarb has been simmering away for 20 minutes, half an hour or so. It's all breaking up, releasing all the lovely flavour, the pinkness from the rhubarb into the water. Looking divine it is. So now what you want to do is strain out all the rhubarb strands, extract the liquid into a separate container. Simple. Through a sieve, through a colander, through a pair of your wife's tights if she wears them. Mine doesn't. But if you can scrounge any, buy some. Wash them first, maybe. And then strain your rhubarb. Fantastic. Awesome. Just through a simple sieve and strain it all out. Once you've filtered out all of your lovely purple, pink, red rhubarb liquid from the pulp, you want to pour it straight into a sterilised, clean demi-john. Pour it straight in. Oh, fantastic. Smells amazing. Rhubarb is such an underrated plant. Anyone with allotments really rate it. Fill the borders, fill your shrubbery, cut up your grass and put rhubarb in. It's an amazing plant. I really, really love it. So grab your demijohn and then just pour it in. Fantastic. With your wonderful rich red rhubarb liquid in your demijohn, you then want to add your honey. As I said before, I'm using 1.5 kilos of runny honey. Other mead recipes I tend to add a wee bit more, about 2 kilos. But for this recipe, I'm only adding 1.5 kilos because I want to back sweeten it. I want to keep on adding honey throughout the fermentation process to keep that yeast really happy, really active, to really, really add a lot of, not just alcohol, but a lot more body to the wine. So that's my plan. And add another 0.5 kilo, another jar or so, as it ferments throughout. So it'll be every few days adding a couple of tablespoons of honey and seeing how that goes. Brilliant stuff. So now, what we need to do is pour in the honey. I've lost my funnel. I have no idea where my funnel is. Bit annoying. Have to do it the old-fashioned way. Oh well. Wow, it's rather awesome. All the honey has sunk right down to the bottom. So give it a good stir. Get your spoon handle right in there. Stir it round. Give it a shake. Get it all diluted, mixed in, diffused. All happy being. Fantastic stuff. Whilst I was digging up the rhubarb from the freezer earlier, I found a few kilos of rosehips. And I think rhubarb and rosehip mead would be an awesome combination. So I might make that up sometime soon. Oh yes. Yes. So with your honey and rhubarb liquid added to your demijohn, you want to add your yeast. The type of yeast I'm using for this particular recipe, for this particular mead, is rhubarb wine yeast. The link for it is down below in the description. I really, really rate this company. CrossMyLoof brew. They make a whole range of awesome wine yeasts that are specifically designed towards different types of country wines. So you have orange, you have apple, you have rhubarb, ginger, high alcohol, champagne. The entire range is there. And they make awesome, awesome wines. They ferment really quickly, even in cold weather, which is great up here in Orkney. I really, really like them. Anyway, I like to prepare the wine yeast in advance. So what I'm doing now is rinsing out the jars of the honey with hot boiling water and adding it to a bowl. Letting it cool down to room temperature. And then add the yeast and let it prime and let it get all, well, let it get started really. I find giving the yeast a head start on meads really invigorates it. It really helps the yeast get going because honey doesn't contain a lot of nutrients that yeast needs. The more chance you give the yeast to get going, the better. So wash out your jars with boiling water into a bowl, cool it, add your yeast, and off you go. Fantastic. So with your honey solution, nicely cool, after you've rinsed out your jars of honey, pour in your sachet of yeast. Lovely stuff. And give it a good stir, and leave it in a warm place for a wee while till it gets all frothy, bubbly, active, invigorated, and just leave it in a warm place. Fantastic, easy. I love this stuff. Oh, it smells gorgeous, it does. So put it aside and go and finish off your cider. Your rhubarb beer. Back in a minute now. Oh, the yeast is looking mental, it is. It's having a massive party. It's all bubbling, frothing, and all foamy, brilliant looking it is. That's what you want. You want a really active yeast. A yeast that goes mental. So, last step now is simply pour in your yeast into your demijohn of pink, bubbly, beautiful, lovely looking rhubarb and honey syrup solution. Fantastic stuff. So just pour it straight in, then let it do its magic. So simply pour, insert an airlock, and why don't you also check out another recipe up by here on how to make rhubarb wine. It is a fantastic crop. Go and harvest some rhubarb, make some, it is delicious, and I'll see you very soon for the next video. Have fun now. Ta-ra!